Certificate of Occupancy. The major change in the Land Use Act of 1978 was the government regulation of all urban and non-urban rural land. Land may be used for residential or commercial reasons only after a certificate of occupancy is applied for and granted by the government. A certificate of occupancy is usually valid for 99 years. The certificate of occupancy requirement is important as it establishes an individual as the owner of a plot of land or property, prevents the government from confiscating land or property without compensation, increases the value of one's land, prevents a situation where multiple owners lay claim to a property, is often required for mortgages and loans, and can be used as collateral. A certificate of occupancy may also be necessary to convert the purpose or use of a property, for example, from residential to commercial, to secure permits for a construction project, or when ownership is transferred. The steps to obtain a certificate of occupancy will vary based on location and intended use. For the purposes of this unit, we'll review the steps required to obtain an agricultural land allotment in Ogun State as depicted in a 2017 article from the Journal for the Advancement of Developing Economies. The original article is linked below. 1. Write a letter of intent to the leader of the State Ministry of Agriculture. This establishes your interest in the land and intent to acquire. 2. Collect and complete the application form. If fewer than 20 hectares are desired, the individual application is needed. A corporate application is required for allotments greater than 20 hectares. 3. Submit the completed application form, letter of intent, and the documents listed below. This documentation supports your ability to own and use the land within the law. Ogun State Tax Clearance Certificate for 3 consecutive years, Ogun State Development Levy for 3 consecutive years, current bank account statement, a project feasibility report for your intended purpose, certificate of incorporation, article of association, and personal profile of the directors of the company. These demonstrate that you have an established organization with the ability to farm and market agriculture. 4. Once your application and accurate documentation have been reviewed, you'll be interviewed by a panel. An allotment will be granted following successful interviews and payment of the fees below to establish your farm. Premium fee, annual ground rent, crop enumeration service charges. Enumerators are officials that assess your farm's physical situation and inputs in a method similar to an audit. This information is used for local, state, and federal estimates. Cost of materials for crop enumeration. If applicable, crop compensation, payment to or from the previous owner, usually the government, in exchange for crops on the land already. Cost of a copy of the official survey or survey completion from the Bureau of Lands and Survey. Once granted, the Certificate of Occupancy, or C of O, includes A. C of O number, B. File number, C. Plot number, D. Location details, E. Plot size, F. Date of issue, G. Lease term, H. Initial annual ground rent fees, I. Land use purpose, and J. Terms and conditions. The Certificate of Occupancy also includes a survey of the plot, such as the one at the right.